Okay, so this is now formula substitution. Okay, so let's get started. Happy morning, night, evening, whatever. Okay, let's begin. So oftentimes, if you're gonna be studying math at some point, you're gonna have to deal with formulas. And one of the things that you deal with formulas is you have certain quantities or variables in the formula and then some givens. So you can see here, I have certain formulas here on the left-hand side, and then in the color green and I guess kind of pinkyish. Okay, so I have certain amount of givens, and we're supposed to be substituting in and then solving for whatever unknown we have. All right, so I'm going to walk you through these formulas, and we're going to be solving all of them. Okay, so one thing that I will mention, a really important thing, is when you are dealing with formulas, you should know how to do isolating or solving for an unknown. I do have a full out playlist, okay, so I'm going to link that up there for anybody who's going to be interested. You can test yourself on those. And the other thing is, okay, when you're dealing with formulas, you definitely will have to deal with some rearranging. Okay, so I'm going to start with our first example here, and then we're going to go from there. So let me take this example. Okay, so that's going to be the first one. Let me bring it down, and we're going to work through this one. So what do I have? In this question, you will notice I have been given, okay, so here's our P, so I know what that is. Notice there are no units here. So typically in formulas, you will have a unit because the fact that the formula is there, it represents some quantity. So I have avoided the units for the time being, all right? But if you're dealing with word problems or something like that, you will notice units, okay? I won't have any units in this one. This is just purely substitution into formulas. So that's my P. This is my V. Here is my R. And here is my T. So notice the only thing that's missing is N. Now there are really two approaches when you're going to be dealing with substitution. So whenever you are dealing with substitution, you can do one of two things. You can first rearrange the formula for the variable that you want. So in this case, it would have been N. Or you can literally substitute all your given information, simplify the numbers, and then just solve for the unknown. So those are the two things that you can do. I will not be doing the rearranging of the formulas here. If you are interested, I actually took these formulas and rearranged them as well. And I did a pretty long video because rearranging is not easy. So I'll put a link up above when that video is up. So if you want to learn about rearranging, you can do that there. I will use what I typically use myself is I don't rearrange if they are giving me the unknowns and only one is missing. In that case, I just simply substitute them in. That's why it's called substitution. And then I just isolate because it's easy to work with numbers, or at least easier to work with numbers than to be rearranging formulas. Let's get started. All right. So the first thing that I will do is I'm going to substitute all these in. So notice P is 120. V, it's multiplying V, which is 2, is equal to N, I do not know. R is 8.3145. And then T is 280. So I have all of these. Now what I will do is once I substitute, I will simplify the numbers as best I can. So for instance, so I can take these, so notice 120 times 2, that's just 240. And then now here, what I can do is I know these I can just multiply directly because they're just two numbers. So if I take these two numbers, let me swing this on the other side. So 8.3145 multiplied by 280 is equal to, so this would be 2. Let me just change this back here. So this is 2328.06 multiplied by n. I still don't know this n. Now, the n or the variable, we typically will put second in math. It's just kind of the grammatical way that we work with mathematical variables. So they go second. I won't leave it in the front there. Now, once we have this, now we can actually just go ahead and solve for what we want. So notice I can solve for n by simply dividing both sides by 2328.06. So that cancels out, and this is n. And now again, I'm going to bring out the calculator. So I have 240 divided by 2328.06. And this is equal to, now they told me to round to the 10th. All right, so that's going to be nice. So here you go, rounded to the 10th. That would have been the answer to this question. So notice, substitute and then just isolate like you normally would. That's why it's so important, you know, that first link that I was referring to, okay, in the beginning of the video, you can go back to understand how to isolate for an unknown with numbers. All right, so that's our first example. Let's take another example. So now I'm going to take this one. So let me copy this thing down. So that's going to be our example number 2. So let me throw this below. And now again, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just substitute whatever we have and then solve for whatever it is missing. So here is my second example. So V, so I have 1.527, so that's V, is equal to DF. So notice it says it's 18.2, so I have these two checked, minus DI, which is 9.8, so that's checked. Now divided by, and I only have TF, so I do not know TI, so I'm going to be solving for TI here and then rounding to the 10th. So once again, the first thing that I do is I will simplify the numbers as much as possible. So for example, I can do this subtraction in the numerator because I know those two numbers. So, you know, you can throw it into your calculator, okay, especially if you're nervous, if it's on a test or something, you know, 8.4, you can just write it down on the side. So my question becomes now, so this is, so was it 8.4? So we have 8.4 divided by, and this is 10 minus TI, and 1.527. Now, what do? I have my unknown in the denominator. So what I have to do is I'm going to get rid of the denominator entirely. So you can't just multiply by TI. You have to multiply by this entire denominator, and you have to do that to both sides. So this is 10 minus TI. So this is now gone. Okay, and here, so what I have is, so I'm going to write this as 1.527 multiplied by 10 minus TI. Again, the order of the multiplication, so if this goes first, okay, this goes first or this goes first, doesn't matter. This is 8.4, and now I am solving for TI. So I can do one of two things. I can bring that 1.527 inside the bracket, get rid of brackets entirely. So that's one of the things that I can do, or I can divide both sides by 1.527. You can do whatever it is that you like. All right, let me bring it inside. First, so this is going to be times 10, so 15.27 minus 1.527 TI is equal to 8.4. So that's there. Now I'm going to bring this over to the other side. So now I'm going to have negative 1.527 TI equals 8.4 minus, so that will switch signs. Okay, and now, so what we have is 8.4 minus 15.27 equals, so this is negative 6.87, and here we have negative 1.527 TI. All right, so let me swing that out in here a little bit. Okay, let me make it like that so you can see it. So now with that, okay, so what we have there is we're going to be getting rid of, so I'm going to get rid of this. So this is negative 1.527. I'm going to do that to both sides. 527, so that cancels, and ti equals, so negative negative, and now so my answer divided by, all right, negative 1.527. Okay, rounded to the 10th, so this would be 4.5. Okay, so that's what you would have there. Okay, now I can swing this out. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, and let's come back in here. So that is our answer. All right, let's give another one a shot. So those are two. Here is another one. So it's this one right here. Let me copy it, bring it down so that you can see it. So let's paste it. All right, and as you're working through these, you know, I do recommend pause it. Pause the video, do it on your own, and then see it if you got it right? And then see if you're going in the right steps, or if you do not get it right, just double check what has gone wrong. Okay, so that is really important. Okay, so let's continue on this side. So I have S, so I'm gonna substitute it in, 1762.50. I have P, so that's 1500 times 1 plus, I do not have R, I do have T, so T 3.5 times R. And now I'm going to be solving for R, all right? So now again, what I can do is I can bring this inside of the brackets. So that's one of the things I could do. Or because it's in front of the brackets, I can also divide by 1/5. Let's do that this time around, just so that it's, you know, you can see that you can also do this. So you can divide this on both sides so that it gets rid of that. And then on the right hand side, all you have left now is just this. Now the problem sometimes, okay, so if I bring this calculator back here, 1762.50 divided by 15. All right, so luckily sometimes when you divide, you get a very long decimal number, okay, and then you gotta keep it. This case, it works out very nicely for us, so this is what we have. And now I'm going to shift the 1 over to this side. So 1.175 minus 1 is going to be 3.5 R. So this is 0.175. Okay, now divided both sides by 3.5 so that we can solve for our unknown. So that will cancel, and you have R. Let's bring this back. So we have 0.175 divided by 3.5. All right, so this works out very nicely. I don't know, hold on, round to the 100th. Well, it's already to the 100th. Okay, so we are done. So that's another example. It's another good one that you should test yourself on. Here is, let's continue. Okay, so we still have a few more examples in here that I'm going to try to tackle for you. So let's copy this down. Let's bring it within. All right. Okay, so that's what we have next. So this is a little bit hopefully shorter. So let's take a look. Let's substitute everything back in. Okay, so PA, so let's substitute that in. This is 2.5, I don't have PS, plus 3.5, I do have PD, which is 90. All right, so now I'm gonna simplify. So notice this I can simplify right here because it's just a bunch of numbers. So it is 3 over 5 Now 3 over 5 is actually 0.6. You can check it. Okay, so 0.6 times 90, or you could just multiply the fraction in. So that's 54. So this is 54. This is going to be 2 over 5. All right. So now next, so I'm going to bring this over to the other side. So I'm going to get 110 minus 54. So this is 2 over 5. All right, so that's that. Now 110 minus 54, so minus 50, so that is going to be what, 60, so that's going to be 56. So this is 56 right here, and then just 2 over 5 PS. Now, I don't want the 2 over 5, right? I only want PS. That's what I am interested in. So in order to do that, I have to multiply both sides. So notice I want this to cancel out. So I have to do that to both sides. All right, and this will equal, so PS. Okay, and now, so we can go ahead and do that. Actually, the 2 and the 56, so notice that actually cancels in. So 2 goes into 56. You know, you can do that, or you can punch it back into the calculator. So that's going to be what, 28, I guess. So this is times 28. You know, you can, of course, just check it for yourself if you want. All right, now we have that 28 times 5, and that's going to be 140, and that is PS. All right, so did we round this? Round to the 1. Okay, so to the 1 just means to the whole number. It is already to the 1. All right, so that worked out very nicely for us. So another example. All right, let's still continue. I wanted to give you as many as I possibly can, you know, to exhaust it. So here is another formula, another substitution. So let's copy this and bring it down. So I'm going to do that. All right, and let's maybe change a color. Let's take brown, for instance. So now RD, so we have RD, so this is 1.5 equals 2. We do not have V. Looks like we do have T, which is 100. And then, so notice the way that it is written right here. So there is a multiplication there. So right there, there's a multiplication that we don't typically write. Sometimes you will see it. So here it's a multiplication, and this is 0.6. Okay, so it's multiplying 0.6. That's from right here. All right. And now we just have to solve for V. Okay, so now this simplified because it's 0.6 V. Okay, that's V times this. And then notice, so don't forget, this is kind of over 1. So fractions, 100 over 100 times 1. So this is going to be that. And now solving. So solving for V, so I do not want the 100 divided by, so 0.6, so that cancels, this cancels, and we have to do that on the other side as well. All right, so let's take a look and see what V will be. So here, so 100 multiplied by 1.5, okay, so that's 150, so we know that. And then divided by 0.6. So this is going to be 250. And that is it. It was rounded to the whole number again, to the 1. So we are finished with this example. All right. Okay, I think there's only a couple more left. So we have, so next, so let me take this one. So that's going to be, this one looks like it's a giant one, which is great. So it's going to really test us to see how well we know this stuff. Okay, and now let's substitute it back in. Okay, so we have, so G, so we have 81.7 equals W1, so that's 20. So notice 20 for W1, so G1 is 80. So So I'm substituting. W2 I do not know. I know G2 is 85. So I don't know W2. I do know G2. Now this is divided by, and again, W1 was 20. And we do not know W2. So notice this is what we have. This is almost looks like an average question of grades. You know, if you've ever done those, you know, this looks very, very similar. And now we have to be able to solve and isolate for this. So again, first we simplify as best we can. So 20 times 80, so that's going to be 1600 plus 85 W2. Okay, so nothing really to do here yet. Now, this denominator, this right here, again, we do not want it. So we're going to be multiplying both sides by this. So that's going to cancel this out. We're also going to be multiplying this side. And now, so let's rewrite this so it looks a little bit more presentable. So this is 20 plus W2 equals 2. 16 plus 85 W2. Okay, so we have brackets, and inside of our bracket, we have our unknown. So now in this case, I'm going to get rid of the bracket. I'm going to distribute this across here. So let's do that. So I have 81.7 times 20. So that's going to be 1634 plus 81.7. W2 equals, let's get rid of this for now, right? So plus 85 W2. So your ultimate goal now is, because you're solving for W2, you have to combine these like terms together. So the ones that I highlighted, you have to bring them on one side. I'm going to put them, doesn't matter which side you put it, right or left, okay? It's up to you. And then the numbers you have to put together. So I'm going to do this. I'm actually, because I always keep moving things to the left, okay, I'm going to move this one this way, and I'm going to move this one that way. So what I'm going to get is, that's that, 1634 minus 1600, so that's there. And then I'm going to get 85 W2, that's from here, minus 81.7 W2. All right, so now I have like terms, I can collect them together, and we're almost done. All right, so well, this one is much easier, so this is going to be just 34 equals, now it's 85, so I'm not going to just kind of put it in my mind. Okay, so that's 3.3. And now you probably know what to do, right? Now we got to get rid of the 3.3, so we're going to divide it on both sides. So that's gone. And there you have it. All right, so now let's take a look, okay, see what happens here. So I have 34 divided by 3.3, so that's around 10. Okay, and so let's take a look. They said to round to the 1. All right, so if I'm going to round this to the 1, it's going to be just 10. Okay, so this is what that is. And that's how we would solve this particular example. So this one definitely would challenge you because it's quite a few steps. All right, last one. Last one right here. Okay, copy. Let's take a look at this one. So I'm going to paste it down. And now let's take a look. So it looks very complicated, but let's substitute it in and let's see what happens. So I have 2, okay, x plus b is 2. So I'm going to substitute that in. X minus 2, I know y, so y is negative 2. So notice I substituted that in. Now minus x, and this is plus y. So plus, now y is negative 2. All right, so now let's clean this up. So this is going to be 2x plus 2. This is x, notice, negative, negative, so that's positive. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative x, now notice, positive and negative, okay, because this is kind of like a 1 there, so that's going to be minus 2. Next item, get rid of the brackets. So I'm going to squeeze these brackets right out. So I'm going to have 2x plus 2x plus 8 equals to negative x minus 2. Now what do? Collect my like terms. I got to bring everything together. So all my x's, this one, and this one. And then I'm going to bring the numbers on the opposite side. So I'm going to get 2x plus 2x plus x, sign changed, equals. And then I have negative 2, and this will be minus 8. So collecting like terms, this is 5x, because it's 2 plus 1, is equal to negative 10. Dividing by 5, and you get your answer. All right, this was round to the 10th. So I mean to the 10th, if they really want it, you can put that in there, because just to keep it to the 10th, but it is negative 2. All right, so that's another kind of a long video, and I hope that you found all these examples useful. You know, you can hit a like if you found them useful, and definitely walk through them on your own. Try to solve them on your own to see how well do you know how to substitute and then isolate and solve. All right. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, cheers guys. Bye everybody.